Look around you. It is 2014. Glaciers are melting. Pollution is on the rise. There are homes being foreclosed. And even though the national unemployment rate has gone down, polls indicate that for Americans, job creation is the most important government priority.
There is a solution to all of this.
I think a green job is one that is contributing to resource conservation and making, at the same time, giving people the opportunity to improve their lives through job opportunities.
I think a green job is working for an organization that provides goods and services in a way that's more ecologically friendly or friendly to the environment than is typically the case.
I'm not sure that there's one uniform definition. I know the state probably has a definition, the city might have a definition, the federal government, but because I think about green jobs as ones that is good for the environment, but it's also employing people to go out and earn a living wage.
Green jobs can be both beneficial to our economy and to our environment.
Clean energy manufacturing jobs will get America working again, and they're the most important tools we have to boost our current economy, empower Americans, and fight global warming.
Energy and other green jobs have enormous economic potential because millions of Americans already have the skills that they require.
A recent study in the Pew Charitable Trust says that the number of clean energy jobs in America grew 2.5 times faster than job growth in the economy as a whole over the last decade. By investing $150 billion in clean energy, the United States can create entirely new industries with the businesses and jobs required to make them run. 1.7 million new jobs in just 2 years, according to a report from the Center for American Progress.
These green jobs would even benefit lower-income Americans. Roughly 870,000 jobs out of the 1.7 million would be accessible to workers with only a high school diploma.
Also, about 614,000 of the new jobs available to these workers would offer decent opportunities for promotion with rising livable wages.
In Oregon, where we live, the average hourly wage for a green job is $23.07, which is way above Oregon's minimum wage of $9.10.
On the other hand, there are some downsides to the field of green energy and green jobs.
First of all, both wind and solar power technology depend currently on a rare earth element known as lanthanide, 90% of which can only be found in China. This makes the US more dependent on other countries.
Green technology can also be more expensive, and some people think that green jobs are just another fad whose businesses will go bankrupt. Currently, there are 2 bills in the House specifically regarding green jobs. The first one is House Bill number 1524. This bill authorizes federal funding to states for the manufacturing of green technologies.
The other House Bill, number 2863, amends an act from 1994, providing more assistance to small businesses in order to give low-income individuals green jobs.
We think that these 2 bills and other laws are on the right track to helping green businesses and reducing pollution in America.
But there are many differing opinions on this issue.
I don't think they should promote green jobs at all. I think the government should stay out of it and leave it to the private sector. The private sector, for thousands of years in human history, has provided the energy that we need and has provided the innovation to replace old forms of energy that are either running out or have become impractical.
We have relied very heavily on tax incentives in the past, and investments in the wind turbine industry over the last few years has been buffeted fairly significantly by the presence or absence of tax subsidies. So here in Portland, for instance, Vestas laid off about half of its workers over the last 2 years because of the end of the tax subsidy that was very important for encouraging the construction of new wind turbines. So looking forward to the future, we're hoping to see an environment where there's less fluctuation and the level of government support.
Projects that are not necessarily affordable in the real estate market to make a project feasible will often use a tax credit to make up the difference in the shortfall of revenue they need to finance their project.
Domestic clean energy success will allow America to lead by example and at the same time to open up business opportunities for U.S. companies as a huge global market for clean energy opens up over the next decade. In conclusion, history has repeatedly shown that we can grow the economy while making tremendous strides in reducing pollution.
Besides offering tax incentives and financial aid, we think that the government can help promote green jobs in other ways.
I think the government should go about promoting green jobs in two ways. One of them is to remove any barriers that there are to creating green jobs. So we want to make sure that government rules and regulations and processes don't impede folks who want to go forth and entrepreneurs or create businesses that promote green jobs.
Some of those traditional fields benefit from effective subsidies in that they don't have to pay all their cost. So if carbon, for instance, is a pollutant and I don't have to pay for it, then the economy kind of tilts the playing field in my direction, makes it more interesting to me financially, or it makes it more profitable for me to produce non-green power. So those are effectively subsidies to traditional, non-green energy sources, and to level the playing field for green power to be competitive. Either we have to have subsidies to get us going, or better yet, in my opinion, we have taxes on those externalities, those other costs that currently those businesses like petroleum get as a free ride, or coal as a free
ride. A carbon tax is a tax on fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas. The tax is imposed not at the consumer level, but at the mine or the wellhead or at the oil import station, and then the fossil fuel companies pass it down the supply chain so that at the end of the day your electricity will be somewhat more expensive if it's made from fossil fuels. It won't be more expensive if it's made from renewable fuels like solar and wind.
Carbon taxing, a new idea where companies are taxed for how much pollution they emit into the atmosphere, can also help level the playing field for green jobs and green energy by increasing costs for traditional energy production.
Sometimes here in Oregon, when the price of energy is, when the demand for energy is, or the supply of energy has been outstripped by the supply. So we need to be able to get that energy someplace else, and the way to do that is to have a much more sophisticated infrastructure. So smart grid, smart networks, and more extensive networks of power lines so that we can shift energy back and forth between regions from where it's produced, where it's in surplus, to those places that need it.
Congress, we believe if you don't invest and put an end to barriers prohibiting the creation of green jobs, it will cost much more to fix it in the future.
We presented ideas including putting tax incentives, financial aid, more efficient infrastructure, and carbon taxes in place.
Although some people think that this should be left to the private sector, we think that the green innovation is slowing down and that the government should not be spending the amount of money they do on corporate subsidies of fossil fuels.
Green jobs can be a solution to both the environment and employment, currently two of the nation's biggest issues.
So we ask you in 2014 to take action and create a solid plan for increasing growth of green jobs.
With all this money being spent,
will you help our environment?
This issue needs to be addressed.
Congress, please invest.
Because there's a solution
to all of this pollution.
Green jobs.
Green jobs.